Okay guys, sorry for the cough, I'm homesick today. This is Cruiseroy. Just a quick thing. Watch out when you put your radio away. I left the transmitter on, and it's been on for a while, so it killed this battery. Most people think you just throw this battery away and get a new one, because they tell you it's impossible to bring them back to life. But you cannot use the UpAir charger to try to do this. You really need a nice setup. This is my smaller setup with the power supply, and I'm using the Hobby King X120, which is, the thing balances perfect, but you can't find them anymore. They discontinued them, probably because it worked too well. And then you need the right hookup and setup, and you always need yourself a nice battery checker. Now, just to show you my stupid self, because I wasn't feeling well, I had it out, and it's showing 5.1 volts, so there is something in there. It's at 1%, and if you check each cell, is 1 volt, 1.6 volts, 1.6 volts, and a total of 4.89, and it keeps dropping because I'm testing it. Now, this battery typically is dead. This thing is, I don't think you could ever bring it back to life. What we're going to try is I'm going to show you something. You got to stay with the battery. I'm going to be close by, so you just don't want to leave it unattended. But if I put this in the charger right now, that's what happens when you're sick. You forget to do things right. Alright, so if I put this in the charger properly, normally I would go to type. It's a lipo, so that's why I like this. 3 cells, okay. We want to balance it. And you want to keep your current. Now your current, I put it at 1.8. I want to put it a little lower. It's 2200 milliamps. That's what you use for amps. That would be 2.2 amps is the fastest this can be charged. So I'm going to put it at 1.8. When I hit OK, I'm going to hit start. It says warning. It says detected cell. No, number or whatever. Does not match the setting. Which it does. It's a 3 cell. What's happening is one of these cells is so dead it's not even detecting it. So what do we do? Alright, let me go back. Let me show you something. Go into your type, go to Nyman batteries. That's a regular standard alkaline type battery. Cells, we want to put it at 9 cells at 10 volts. You don't want to go any higher than that. It'll be 12 something volts. Hit OK. The mode, just want to manually charge it. And then current, we'll keep it at the 1.8. You could actually jack it up if I want to fast charge it, but I don't want to. Like I says, the highest you want to go is 2.2 on that battery, so we'll stay about 1.8. Hit OK. Now I'm going to hit start. Now what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing the graph moving. Alright, lights are blinking. Battery type incorrect. Hit OK. Okay guys, Cruiseroy back. I tried my Hobby King. It's usually pretty good at doing this, but it wouldn't revive the UpAir's 2000 that I left on. So I brought out the Thunder Power. Usually in Nyman mode, you can bring these cells up. I'm just going to show you again. What it is you got to bring these cells back up. It's probably not going to be as healthy as it used to be because I let it die. Let me just check it again. Alright. I just brought it up to 6.7 volts already, but I'm still at only 1% charge. If you check each cell, they're way below what they're supposed to be. But I got a single cell there at 180 and 244 and 245. But this controller here can balance this out once I get it close enough. Your cell's got to be over 3 volts apiece, otherwise this thing is dead. And like I did, I let it die. So I brought out the Thunder Power. I got it on Nyman mode. Let's plug it in here again. Like I said, you want to keep below 2 amps. You don't want to be sick sucking on cough medicine because I put the radio away last night and left this thing on. It's an 8C, so it can take some input, even if I went over 2200. I'm at 2.60, alright? But I'm in Nyman mode. Only certain chargers will do this. Some of the cheaper ones are the best because they'll actually push voltage into a dead battery. But you got to watch the battery. Let me start this up. You have to keep an eye on it. This thing could puff up and explode right here. That's why you watch your amps. You put it on a lower amperage, and you possibly get a better flow of electricity through here. But like I said, this is charging like a car battery right now. It doesn't know the difference between the cells. It doesn't know the difference between anything. It's pushing voltage right in there, and I could crank this thing up to probably 10 amps, and I'll get this thing up to 11.1 volts in about 2 seconds. But what it is you have to get these cells up properly before a standard balance charger will get in there. And this one's actually working. We're at 9 volts right now, and if you divide that up, that's each cell is 333, which is good. But if I put it on the balance charge right now, she's going to show up that she is got one dead cell, because they're probably not all equal. But let me run it for a few seconds here while we're jibber jabbering. Like I said, some good tools to have around is one of these battery testers, but it also goes into balance mode. You can sit on the counter and balance that perfectly, at least between 0.1 amps. I'm at 1018 volts right now on this, and I'm still watching it. Keep your hand on it for temperature. It's ice cold, so we're good. You can have a heat gun if you want and keep an eye on it. But this battery was dead. This was your typical lipo. Take it, throw it in the trash. Well, don't do that. I didn't say that. Dispose of it properly with the FCC rulings. But anyways, if you throw the thing in a tank of water, it's dead. I'm at 1069 volts now. Alright. Like I said, this thing was on all night and went dead. So we're going to try to revive it. I'm at 1081. Still going. What I'm going to do is, I like the Hobby King. This Hobby King 120 is cheap, but it works very well for balancing. This Thunder Power charger, very expensive, but it can bring batteries back to life. And by using the Nyman Center, it doesn't really give a crap. It doesn't have a brain, but it doesn't balance right. I'm always getting cells that are low. I'm above 11.1 right now. Let's give it a stop. Let's check this thing out. I'm going to disconnect the battery now. And like I said, you got to be with these batteries. Don't just walk away. It could cause a fire. Alright, I'm at 1023 on here. Let's check each cell. 339, 340, and 341 at 3%. That's actually still a bad lipo. But I'm at 339. So let's see if I can get this thing to go on the Hobby King now. Let me transfer some stuff here. Banana cables, balance lead. Like I said, I like this Hobby King. I wish I could have bought 10 of them when they were out for 19 bucks, because I'll tell you what, the thing works very well. And I've pushed bigger batteries than this, 6 of them at a time, with one of these parallel boards. But let me see now if we can go into normal mode. Type lipo cells. It's a 3-cell. Balance mode, yes. Current, I'm going to drop the current way down. I want to do just 1 amp. The slower the better. I can probably bring this back to life and it'll last. It just happened, so we'll see what happens here. See if I get an error. Alright, she's showing up on the flood meter. So over 3.3 is good, and now she's going to slow charge. Alright, so when this thing comes up to full capacity, I will come back. We'll rebalance it with this, unless the Hobby King does it all on its own, and I'll show you the end part of it. I don't want to sit here for 3 hours watching it charge. But anyways, like I said, battery dead. Find a charger that will push Nyman electricity. Voltage is voltage. It's just a lipo battery works on balancing. That's how it works. Has a little brain inside here. If you ever tore one of these apart, there's a little board in here. But when it gets below a certain voltage, there's no balance charger in the world that's going to charge it. It's going to keep coming up with errors. But if you do it correctly, you do it properly, you do it safely, you can bring it back up. I can't guarantee that you'll get the livelihood out of it that you did because you let it go dead. You know, you might get, if it's a flight time, you'll get about 5 minutes less. If it's for your controller, it probably won't last 10 flights now, it'll last 8. You know what I mean? You've killed the cells in this. Sorry about that. But this is Cruise Roy. I'll be back in a moment, and we'll film the rest of what happened, and we'll see if it worked. Alright, I'm out of here. Okay guys, this is Cruise Roy again. After about an hour or so, the Hobby King now, with this battery that went dead, it says charging complete. Alright, it said it brought it up to about 12.61 on the voltage. And let's give it a check. Now this one was the completely dead lipo. Check each cell. 417, 417, 417. It's at, back to lipo. It's at 97% though. But what happens is I deplete it again and recharge, and it should start getting closer and closer to 100%. That's because we brought it up completely for dead. I could put it on the charger again, but I won't. I'm going to deplete it for a little bit and then start over. Alright? So, this is Cruise Roy. I hope this helps someone out with a dead lipo. Do it at your own risk though. Be very careful, and I'm out of here.